Well, hello everybody. Are y'all ready for this month's training? I am pumped about this class. I've been doing some research, I've been getting ready for it, and I am speaking as much to myself as I am to you or anyone else. So, as y'all enter in here, and if you want to um, feel free to leave something in the chat, just introducing yourselves. I'm probably going to have some questions along the way. I know several people aren't going to be able to make it to the live, so that's why we're recording this. This is how to organize your life, home office routines for more fun, flow, and happiness. All right, more fun. Well, I personally like what I do for a living, for my job. So I enjoy it, but let me tell you, I can always use some help when it comes to the organizing and cluttering. I'm actually a very organized person, but let's just talk about this for a second. If we can de-stress our personal life and get rid of the stressors in our personal life, then we can actually, I think, get more done in our business life. I don't know about you, but have you ever been like working in your office, you're working on it, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my goodness, the wet laundry is sitting over there. I got to get up and go move the laundry from the washer to the dryer. Or you're ending your day and you're like, oh my, what are we going to eat for dinner tonight? Forgot to pull that out of the freezer. And Amanda's saying, haha, all the time. Me too. Well, it is these tiny little distractions that will interrupt our business day and really cause our productivity just to plummet. And so, what I want to do is go through some real practical ways in different areas of our life. We are going to also fix this clip, making too much noise. We'll also be talking about our business day as well, but I think it's so important that we look at all of our lives because they do really affect each other. Everything that we do in our lives is interconnected, and so we need to sometimes take a step back and moving all things, take a step back. I don't know about you, but when the alarm goes off in the morning, actually, I personally don't use an alarm anymore. I just get up. But the only times I really use an alarm is when I have to get up early for a flight and I don't want to miss my flight. But you just sort of grunt and hit that snooze button because it's time to, I would get a little bit more sleep. And then all of a sudden you're getting up, you're rousing the kids, getting them dressed, feeding them breakfast, getting ready for the day. But you can sometimes feel your blood pressure rising as you get ready. Just because you've got a lot going on. We are a busy society. We wear busyness as a badge of honor. And I don't know that that's always the best thing to do. So think about that. Do you have this forever to-do list that you really need to sort of work through? Or maybe you feel like you're on the eternal hamster wheel and it keeps spinning in one direction. Well, let me tell you, you can jump off and create an organized life that isn't so stressful, but only you can decide certain things about who are you going to work with? What's your pricing going to be? Are you going to have a team? Those are your decisions. But you've got to look at it in relationship to your whole life. And let's face it, there are highs and lows in everything we do. We need to decide how will we react when we have a downer like that. I really believe eliminating stress and distractions is a way to be more confident in your business. You just have more brain power when I am not stressed out. I don't know about you, but that's how I feel. But I know that there are going to be breakdowns I have started an event that was going to end up having 2 or 3 thousand people. And the first day we opened registration, my shopping cart didn't work because I pushed some button to update and I was like, so things are going to happen. And you just go with the flow and, do take the next step. How are you going to respond? If you get all down about yourself, that's just not a good way to move forward. So let's go on and let's talk about, oh, great. There we go. Let's talk about step number one in this. We've got 7 steps we're going to try to cover. Why do you need to optimize your life? If you've ever if you're spread too thin and you can't even enjoy the in the moments, then or you're like me thinking 2 steps ahead and you're not even enjoying what you're doing right now. We need to take a step back And the best thing we can do is organize ourselves and enjoy life. As I said earlier, everything is interconnected, and we really can get more done and actually have more fun if we are taking care of all areas. I know um, there was a lady that said she was trying to ramp up her clients, and she also got serious about her health. She had health goals. She was making changes health wise, and this actually gave physical changes to her body, but her overall health, she had an energy boost in her business. And at the same time, she had an energy boost physically. So we really, that's why I'm saying we need to sort of look at everything. No more flying by the seat of your pants like I do. So let's talk about what are some advantages when you get your life organized. First, you're going to get more done. You're not going to be stressing out over when you're going to go get the dishes out of the sink or when you're going to get this work done or plans to take care of household chores. You're going to have a plan. And then everything you need to get done will get done. Okay, that's a little caveat. I'm gonna talk about that in a little bit. There are times things just fall through the cracks. But for the most part, we get into a routine, not a set schedule, but a routine. Like for me, I usually wake up around 5:30 or 6 and I get up and I do my stretches and it's sort of a routine. And some days I may finish sooner and some days it may take me longer. But overall, I can get everything done. I think you'll have more free time and mental space to be creative. I think, and I used to not really think much about mental health. And I think this is so important. I mean, there's a lot of reasons it's come to the forefront of our society, but really your mental health depends on it. When you're living a life without routines or any sort of structure for you and your family, it is draining mentally and physically, and it's time consuming. Setting up these routines allows you to go through some motions with little thought. And if you start to do something for a month, it will hopefully become a habit as well. Now, having said that, I don't want to be so overwhelming. I have given you some resources for this. You have got a workbook that will cover questions for everything that I'm going to cover today. And you can sort of flip through that if you want as you're going. But the other thing I'm going to turn my video back on. The, where is my video? Can y'all see me? Where happened to my video? Well, it's hiding somewhere and I can't see it. So um, anyway, we'll just put it over there. I don't know if y'all can see this. Put something in the chat if you can see me on video, because I don't know what happened. I lost. Oh, there it is. Oh, sorry, guys. Oh, there we are. Now I can see myself. Okay, here's the thing that I think will help keep it from overwhelm. There is this thing called a calendar, and it is 4 weeks, and you go 5 days a week every for 4 weeks, and you will if you will just spend 10 or 15 minutes a day doing this, and it's easy. Make a list of your stressors, prioritize it, create a brainstorm list of how you can tame this stress monster. And then every day it says declutter for 15 minutes. Then Tuesday, write a journal entry with your morning routine. So it's just 3 or 4 things that you would do every day for 4 weeks if you want to go through and sort of take care of all of these things. You may not implement everything immediately, but I do believe you can get a plan so that you'll know I'm going to work on this month, and then I've already got it written down. I'll work on the next things the next month as well. So there we go. Oh, good old Zoom. Okay, where was I? Everything gets done, free space, mental health. Okay, now let's just talk about some basic organization tips. If I can make the slide go, where am I? Well, there we go. But I'm not going to go give you a whole bunch of to-do list systems. Find a to-do list that works for you. Right now, I'm on a paper and pencil one. I go back and forth between that and Trello. Some people use Asana. Find a system that works for you of your to-do list, because we'll talk about it. Use a calendar. You need it. Use a calendar. We use Google Calendar especially when the kids were here, everything was different colors. So we all knew what was going on each and every day. get to the next one. And then what are your natural rhythms and inclinations? If you prefer working at night, then center your routine around that. Personally, I think better in the morning. So I do better waking up early in the morning and going to bed a little bit earlier. What is natural to you and natural to your family that will work? And that's what you really want to lean into. Focus on achieving a better balance rather than everything being perfect in your life. You know, if you have to skip a day or a week of something, do it. Your aim is productivity, not perfection. I'm going to say that again. Your aim is being productive, not perfect. And then here's that little caveat I said a few minutes ago. Drop the ball. Can't believe I'm saying that. Drop the ball as needed. Give yourself grace when things don't always work. All right. If things aren't going well, drop the ball or several balls and then come back to whatever your routine is and revisit it and see if it needs some fine tuning. I'm going to say it again, give yourself grace. As moms, especially, we have so much we're juggling, and you need to give yourself grace and mercy and just go forward. Also, give your family grace. You know, we need that's a give and take thing. So sometimes you have to drop the ball. I'm gonna be honest. I had a launch planned for a family e-biz product that I made a few years ago. I was going to do it in January and it wasn't working that week. So I just pushed it to the next week and it wasn't working that week. I mean, I just had a lot going on, including family stuff. And then the last, I was like, Carrie, this isn't going to happen because you're getting ready in February to start promoting your VIP day in March. So I just took my little pencil eraser and erased the name of it on my 4 Mondays that I was going to do those 4 coaching sessions. I dropped the ball, but
Wasn't
that's
expecting you to have to
okay.
go.
I will go on later as well. So, and I can do it at a different time. All right. So, basic principles of getting organized. Now let's talk about your home. Happy, clean home. I want you to think for a second, put something in the chat. Where is it? Where's that one corner of your home that tends to collect clutter? What collects clutter? I can see mine right now from my kitchen table. It is the counter to my left, and it's actually a little better, but there are still things I need to actually put away. And so, where is it? Because I think when we have clutter around us, it just messes with our mind as well. How do you feel when you see that clutter? If it's a kid's room, let's say, or your office, you just shut the door and hope it'll go away? Do you want to swipe the papers into the garbage? Sometimes I just want to take that whole counter and swipe it into a bag. And so, clutter, where is that place in your home that collects clutter? Because clutter is chaos and it truly affects the energy in our home and your physical energy. And so, I think we need to take a step back and talk about getting organized in our home in a simple way. I love this quote. For every minute spent organizing, you earn an hour is earned. Okay, I said it wrong. An hour is earned. Think about it. And I'm like, I've got a plan. I'm going to be sharing some of the things. I am personally really talking to myself. This is such a needed topic for me as well. So for every minute you're organizing, you're hopefully gaining an hour later on in the way. So first, let's talk something. Take a deep clean day. Find a day that you can deep clean. Now, you may want to deep clean your whole house, or you may just want to deep clean a room. Maybe you're going to pick a room at a time and you deep clean it. Maybe you might choose a Saturday afternoon and work on it. If it doesn't get done, you might do it the next Saturday. But these are not those weekly, daily tasks. We're going to talk about that next. Find a time that you can start to deep clean. For me personally, that is going to be my home office because my son gave me a really good idea. I was like, yeah, if I clean that big, long 8-foot table off of stuff that I never used, I could put all my craft supplies and I could get that all organized. So my goal is 15 minutes a day at the end of work on cleaning my office. I am proclaiming it. I am saying it publicly. Y'all can hold me accountable. That's what I personally need. I can keep my desk clean, like, there's room for the keyboard and blank desk here. I put my papers here, but it's all that stuff around me that I don't like. And it really does affect me emotionally. So think about maybe a deep clean day. Next, you need to develop a daily cleaning routine. And I love this quote. Clutter is nothing more than postponed decisions. I was like, yeah, you're right. I'm just looking over there. I've got clutter over there on that little counter. I'm like, I just keep postponing the decision of where and what to do with it. It doesn't need to be there. If I'm never using it and I haven't used it in a year, I probably need to just get rid of it. I actually have a little utensil right here that I was given as a gift. And I was like, I hate to give this away. It was such a nice gift, but I don't use it. I do other things to make that happen in the kitchen. And so, I just postpone and it just sits around and that causes more clutter. So you need to do something. I would encourage you to find the clutter places and schedule 15 minutes a day to keep that one space clean. And for me, again, I'm telling you, it's my office is where I'm going to start. This counter, I can probably do that in 15 minutes and be done with it. It's got a little basket. Now I need to clean the basket out. So where do you collect your clutter? What do you do with it? I think it's just really important. And think about when you walk in to, if you have an office or the kitchen table, wherever you work, how do you feel when it's clean? It's nice and cozy. You want to spend more time there. So it's worth 15 minutes a day, just at the end of the day, to clear the papers, to spend some time shredding if you need to. I got a whole pile of shredding. Empty the garbage. Avoid the office being the roll-all room for clothing donations or anything else that's not business related. Another suggestion for many people would be the kitchen because that tends to be the place. Messy sinks. Have a goal that you're going to get the dishes out of the sink and in the dishwasher. Now, my dishwasher's broken, so I do them all by hand. So I do try to wash every day, but I also try to put the dishes away. I don't want to see them sitting out on the counter. And so get the dishes out of the sink. A Fly Lady says you should keep your sinks clean and disinfected daily. That's the bare minimum. Anyway, what kind of, oh, there you go. Forgot that slide. There you go. Clean the desk. Those are all the things I've just been talking about. What is your sink and dish routine? Again, load the dishwasher right after dinner, get it started, and then you can empty it out in the morning or whatever works for you. If you've got pots and pans, use the pots and pans setting on a dishwasher. So we've got deep clean day, we've got routine daily types of cleaning. And seriously, if you can just do 15 minutes a day and you've got a family, get them involved. Put some good music on right before you start cooking dinner and give each kid a place to clean, and tell them something happens. Maybe they get to watch a show or something at the end of that 15 minutes, but get them involved and show them so they can start to build that type of routine as well. All right. Well, here we are, laundry. Okay, so we got to get the laundry. I personally think there's two ways to take care of the laundry. You're either going to do a load every day, or you're going to maybe choose a laundry day. I do not like to do laundry. I did not want to do it every day, me personally. So we did laundry on Mondays and Thursdays. I still to this day only do laundry 1 or 2 days a week. I don't want to see it. And not just do it on that one day, but put it away. So let's talk about your kids. A 3-year-old can fold washcloths and towels. A 3-year-old can take a basket of clothes and go put them in their room if they can reach their drawers. And they know where their socks are. It's not going to look perfect, but it's put away. They know where their shirts go. They can pick that up and put them in the drawers. And if a 3-year-old can do it, an 8-year-old can do it, and an 18-year-old can do it. So don't underestimate your kids. So pick a way that you're going to do laundry. This is just a tip I read and I wanted to share it with. And if you're doing a laundry day, you might do the hardest load first. And then by the end of the day, the easier things that are like towels that you just fold up and put in the bathroom or wherever, that would be easier to do at the end of the day as well. Again, get your kids to help. Little kids can sort whites and colors and towels. Older kids, when my kids were teenagers, they learned how to do laundry. In fact, each one of them took a turn. They had to do the family laundry 3 months, and then they moved to the next one because I wanted my kids to know how to clean. And if you do it for 1 week, when it comes back around, you're going to forget. And so they had to do all of it. Eventually, they just started doing their own laundry, and we worked that out as well. So teach your kids how to do laundry, teach them how to clean a bathroom. There are a lot of things that I believe our kids can learn. And my kids learned how to do it. And again, they had to do whatever that job was for 3 months. And that was not my idea. Someone told me that idea, and I just stole it and used it. All right. And then the next thing is open up your living spaces. If you're just got furniture and you're all cluttered, you're walking into chairs or whatever, you need to sort of pull that out. And I lived through this about a month ago. My son, Hunter's fiance, is living with me while she studies for her boards that she'll take in March. And there's less distraction here than in Houston, where all her friends are and where Hunter is. But we have an office, and I was using it for my studio. And we spent just an hour or two cleaning it out. He gets really sort of, I don't know, he was focused. And so it's a really nice space now. I mean, I could still do my studio, but boxes and stacks of things I didn't need on my desk. I mean, there was all sorts of stuff in that downstairs office. And so it's clean. We have a big chair that's been in there. He bought a cover for it, and it's really nice. There's windows right there. You can open it up. The natural light comes in. It's a place I want to work or be or sit and study. And so are there places in your house that you could open up and just have a really good attitude about everything? And are there things around your house that sort of drive you crazy that need to get fixed? Take time during that deep clean day and maybe fix it. Our shower door was making noises, and I went in last weekend and Hunter and Brittany had put a little hair rubber band. I don't know what they did. It didn't make any more noises, and it opens and closes very well. What are things that you need to do around the house that sort of trip you up or they're taking up brain space as well? So we've got organization, we've got home. Next, this is important. Organizing is a journey, not a destination. It's not, I mean, this is just something you don't like get organized and never do it again. It's a constant thing. And so, again, give yourself grace as you're working through this organization process. All right, now let's talk about meals. I don't know about you, my kids and my family always want to eat 3 meals a day. And I was like, oh, so, or they'll be at lunch and then go, what's for dinner tonight? And I'm like, I was, well, I sort of am now, but I was a meal planner. I enjoyed planning my meals, and I'd like to know ahead of time because I would know that I had all the ingredients. So, some of you may not like that, but I want to give you some tips that maybe help you get over this meal problem because seriously, we got to eat and we can't just go out to eat all the time. So, I would suggest meal plan the day before you go shopping. If you go shopping on Mondays, meal plan Sunday night. And that way you can check the fridge, the freezer, the pantry to find out what you need. All right. So meal plan the day beforehand. It eliminates decision fatigue. It will ensure that you buy only what you need, and it will actually save you some time and money as a result. So I do have a book. I keep forgetting to get the link. It's called Quick and Easy Meals for Families, something like that. And it just has some easy meals that are easy to get done that, you know, we used them a lot while the kids were here. Some ideas on meal planning would be some people may eat the same breakfast every day. I know my grandkids sort of do. I would get sort of bored. I liked cooking breakfast and dinner. I did not like lunches. So how did I handle lunches? Because seriously, to this day, I don't like lunches. Um, I kept a list of about 8 or 10 lunches that my kids would eat that we enjoyed. And I just kept all those ingredients, and that way I could just rotate them, whatever we felt like that day. It wasn't a big deal. My kids also learned to make their own lunches as well. But I like cooking breakfast, so I would make breakfast and I like cooking. If you don't like it, then you're going to maybe look for some shortcuts as well. You might have things like Taco Tuesday or Meatless Monday. You don't want to use the excuse, I just forgot. to meal plan, or I forgot to get the groceries. That's just avoiding it. You plan for your business each week, so we need to plan for our meals. And when that's over, when you get finished at work, let's say at 5 o'clock, you don't have to think. Your brain already knows that it's sitting there and you're going to be ready to cook your meal that night. Choose a day to go grocery shopping and meal prep. If you don't like grocery shopping, you can maybe order online and then just go pick it up. I don't necessarily do this, but I know people will prep their food when they get home. They'll chop up their produce and maybe not all of it, but like onions and carrots. You might wash the fruit and put things in individual bags or meal-sized bags so you can just pull it out for that meal or for your kids to have a quick snack. It would save you time if you sort of just do it all at once. When it comes to meats, some people want to prepare all their meats in advance and then just assemble the meal in individual serving sizes or family sizes. Other people want to cook each day. That would be me. But you could do some things like you might, when you bring it home, go ahead and form your burgers out of your ground meat or season your meats so that they're all ready. And then you can move forward. And that's just one less thing you have to do in the evening. And then I would say you may want to use a food service at some time. I don't know. You may not want a food service for every day, but maybe that would help you for 2 or 3 days a week. Find out what your family favorites are and ask them. You might be surprised. And if you could come up with 30 family favorites, you've got a whole month and you can rotate them in different orders every single month. And I don't think you would feel like you're repeating them. Like when I was getting married, we had a shower and they were telling stories. These are my mom's friends. And this one lady said, I just made the same thing for 7 days. Every Monday we had this, every Tuesday we had meatloaf. And I was like, oh my gosh, I would have gone crazy. That would have driven me crazy. But it worked for them. So, but I think if you want to have some variety, you could come up with a list of 30 favorites for your family. And then finally on the list, utilize casserole soups and slow cookers. Casseroles, you can make those ahead of time, put them in the freezer for days that life falls apart, for you can make soups the same way, you can put them ahead of time. I love the crock pot. Lots of people have an Instapot, or at least my kids all do. So Brittany was here and I learned something new on a slow cooker, and it's pretty cool. She would buy a big package of chicken breasts and she would put them in the crock pot and then pour chicken broth over them and cook them for 3 hours with seasonings, whatever. And then when she was finished, she would shred it and put it in a Rubbermaid container. And this way, whenever she needed chicken or a little extra protein, she could just pull the chicken out of that Rubbermaid. And I was like, that is so smart. And the broth really made it easy to shred. Obviously, probably just cooking it in the crock pot. I know I would do chicken. I have a tomato sauce that I make, and I would cook the chicken, and then we'd add some mozzarella cheese and then serve it over pasta. And all I had to do was add a salad. So lots of easy things you can do with the crock pot. So food, health, organizing. Now we're going to talk about those routines. Do you jump out of bed in the morning ready to face the day with a smile on your face, or are you hitting snooze till the very last second, and then you're running late? I think every day is a good day to wake up. We need to really remember that. Sometimes we take our days for granted. But let's talk about what kind of routines you could have. And what is your attitude when you get up? Now, I don't always feel like great, but I do think whatever you do first thing in the morning sets the perspective, whatever the atmosphere for yourself and then also for your family. Do you wake up and have an attitude of gratitude and joy, excited? Some people use a gratitude journal at night. I was reading, and I'm thinking I'm going to change my gratitude journal at night because it'll calm your spirit down, and you can actually think about what you've been grateful for that day. Another thing about sleep is you need to get some sleep. It is so important. So sometimes we hit the snooze button just because we're not refreshed. We have not gotten enough sleep. So let's talk about mornings. And let me see. Here we go. What's your morning routine? And put something in the chat. Let me know. What are things that you must get done each morning? All right. And what would are things that you would love to get done each morning? And let's talk about a routine. And you have four ritual. I would not do more than four things. I'm going to share sort of what I do, and you do whatever you want. I do want to share before this, my friend Craig Ballantyne, he has something like the Millionaire Morning Routines or something like that. And he talks about doing things the night before so your morning goes more smoothly. So, for instance, maybe for me, the first thing I do, first clothes I put on is to go for a walk. So maybe I pull those clothes out and have them sitting on the chair in my bedroom. Or maybe if you make coffee, you set the coffee up and have it on. So all you do is push the button when you come in. What are things you might do the night before so your morning can go more smoothly? Those are just a few things from me. I do think it's important that we have some sort of morning ritual. You do whether you planned it or not. And I think this should be maybe 30 to 60 minutes. I'm going to give you mine. You can do whatever you want. But I do some back stretches and I do a few in the bed and then I lay on the floor for about 15 minutes. And I integrate that with the YouVersion app because y'all know me, I'm a person of faith. So that gives me the verse of the day, a little video of encouragement, and some prayer prompts. And as I'm laying there, on my back for 15 minutes, it's a chance for me to just focus. And so I've got exercises at first and or stretches. Next, I have table time, and I come to the kitchen table where I am right now, and I have a 5-year journal, and I just write down a few things from the day before. I have some different prayer lists that I will pray through. I rotate those, and then I have a chance to read my Bible. So that's my table time. And then the last one is walking time. I love to walk outside, so I go outside and walk and pray. But I need to get up and move. That's the next thing we're going to be talking about is exercise. But how do you start your day? Even when my kids were young, I had some of this. I would go to the gym at 5:30 when my kids were young, and then I would come home, have a cup of coffee, and read my Bible at the time. For Hunter, I know he works from home, but he goes to the gym after lunch. I've already sort of moved on to exercise. I wasn't thinking. But we need to add some kind of exercise in our life. You need to think about what kind of exercise person are you? Are you going to go to the gym? Are you going to do it at home? What will motivate you to keep doing it? Because we know all those stories at the beginning of the year, they get a gym membership and they quit in 2 weeks or whatever. You need to keep moving and you need time to move. If you sit in your front of your laptop computer, I would say more than an hour, maybe more than 30 minutes, you're sitting too long and your eyes need a break. Your body needs a break. I personally use the Pomodoro method. I put a timer on for 25 minutes and then I take a 5-minute break. And it says 5-minute break that I might go move the laundry into the dryer, or maybe I wash the dishes, or maybe I walk out on my driveway. We have a big circle driveway, and I might just go for a quick little 3-minute walk out there and just get outside. That gets me up and moving because my back will pay for it if I sit too long in front of the computer. So, how are you going to add exercise into your routine? I would also say if you want to reward yourself, there are several apps I just heard about, little virtual races. You get medals for logging in for whatever goals you set up, sort of like that dopamine experience as well. So, morning routine, exercise, self-care routines. This is not selfish routines. This is anything that you do to take care of yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, or emotionally. Too often, I think, especially as believers, we hear self-care and we think selfish. You've got to be able to take care of yourself so you can do things for other people. And I think this is just vital. It's like putting the airline mask on before you help your child. You've got to be able to breathe yourself before you can help someone else breathe. So, this is just a few ideas of things that you might do, things that would make you smile or get you excited. Maybe play with your dog or pet, hug someone, take a bubble bath, Go on an adventure, learn a new skill, do a DIY project, get creative with some art supplies, create a gratitude journal, talk to a friend, create a bucket list, go get coffee with a friend or go eat lunch with someone, get out of the house. Those are just a few ideas. These are things that you do to sort of take care of yourself so that you can take care of your family, so you can take care of your customers in your business as well. I read about beauty routines. It's not really part of me, but I thought I would share it for anyone that does it. And that would be maybe pick a day. I read Self-Care Sunday, and that's when you maybe paint your toenails, or Friday afternoons for manis and petties. But if you have certain things like that that you need to do, maybe it's exfoliating your and moisturizing every night, whatever that routine is, you need to build it into a routine that just gives you extra brain power to focus. And then lastly, we have evening routines. So we have one to get started, one to end. Same two questions: what needs to be done each night? What would you love to make time for each night? With your kids, you need to get them to brush their teeth and get ready for bed. And I think kids is an easy example. When I look at what we did and when I look at what my kids are doing, they have a routine. The kids get their pajamas on, they brush their teeth. Well, they shower if it's a shower night or whatever. They brush their teeth and then they go in their room and their parents read to them. And then usually there's a Bible something and prayer time right at the end. So there is a routine. My 3-year-old has a singing routine, and I don't always know which songs he wants to sing. And unfortunately, sometimes I don't know the right verses for his songs, but he seriously has a routine of which songs he wants sung while he's laying in bed. It's only like 3 or 4, but I missed a verse, and I think I don't know what it was. Anyway, what do you need to do each night? Again, we all brush our teeth, wash our face, that type of thing. What would you love time for? Reading, journaling, turn off electronics an hour before bed, connect with your spouse about the next day, or maybe just get creative and choose some things that would really give you a sense of calm and tranquility. One thing I have heard, and I've done this sometimes, is take a brain dump at the end of the day right beforehand. You just get a pad of paper and write everything that's on your mind, and then it'll still be on that piece of paper the next morning. You don't have to do anything with it, but when you get it out of your brain, you sort of let it go and it's taken care of. And then the next day, you can figure out what to do with all of that. Or keep a notepad on your nightstand. I've done that. When I have ideas in the middle of the night. I heard Rachel Ray, she said she came up with some of her best recipes in the middle of the night and she would jot them down on a pad of paper right next to her. I did say something in the middle of it, and I think it's really important. I am sometimes good and sometimes not, but not looking at your phone for an hour before you go to bed. And I'm not going to go into all the health and science, but that is really good for you. Um, so that would be something to consider. Another thing I do is before I go to bed, I do check my calendar because sometimes I forget if I have an early morning meeting or something. What kind of commitments do I have tomorrow so that I can sort of guess what time to get up, that type of thing. So those are just a few ideas. Do y'all do a morning routine or an evening routine? Let me know in the chat and let's see what y'all might do. All right, next, let's talk about a less stress business day. Um, a lot of times when we organize our life, that's going to give us more time to focus on your business. You won't be distracted as much by those household chores, but you still need to think about your business and what kind of routine and organization do you have. You need something that will help it flow well. So I would encourage you to set business hours. And that's going to look different in different seasons of your life, depending on your kids. When my kids were little, I would the kids would go to Mother's Day out on Thursdays. And so Steve would take them. I'd leave here at 6:30 or 7 and go down to his office and do all the bookkeeping till about 11. And then the rest of the day I had to take care of things I needed to do. That's really it. Before that, this is back in paper and pencil spreadsheets, but the kids would go down for a nap or a quiet time. They were really little. I think it was only 2 of them, but And I would do the bookkeeping on Tuesday afternoons and use my little calculator and my paper and pencil, try to make it all add up correctly. But that was it for me. Then, we started homeschooling, I would homeschool in the morning and then I would work on business in the afternoon. And that way I was focused in the morning on them. And then they were doing independent work or they were finished or they're going to a friend's or something in the afternoon. And that was when I had time for me to focus on whatever business. If you have an office and you need to put a do not disturb sign, you might want to do that. For me now, again, I still think best in the morning. So I do thinking activities in the morning. And then I do non-thinking activities as much in the afternoon. I also do my coaching, our mastermind groups in the afternoon. I've also decided that on Mondays, I don't really set any appointments or meetings. It's my day to get going on the week and to sort of pick up from being gone for the weekend. Oh, I guess I should push you to the slide. Everything in your office needs a home. All right. This is what I'm doing. I think I told y'all. I can't remember sometimes if I practiced this or if I told you, but I am going to start spending the last 15 minutes of my workday cleaning the office. I did. I publicly declared it so that I will do it. What does everything in your office have a home? Because I have got things in there. I don't need photos of my kids. I do have a calendar. I need the calendar. My calendar has pictures of our family, so it's sitting right there. But you might I have some verses on my wall above my computer, my desktop. I have some list of subject lines. I have a list of lead magnets, and if you do a vision board, you might put that up on a wall so you can see what to inspire you. Everything in your office, really everything in your home needs a home. And so, and that's what clutter is. Clutter is things that don't have a home. And so we need to find homes for all our stuff. Then I would encourage you to embrace minimalism. This is not me, but do the books on your bookshelf serve a purpose? Do you have an old printer that's sitting there either that doesn't work or you don't use? That's me. My kids many years ago gave me an old printer and I've never hooked it up. I just keep using the one I have. And I'm like, Carrie, you need to get rid of that thing because it is just taking up space in my office. I don't know about y'all. Do you really have time to list things on Facebook Marketplace? Or these things can sometimes we just give them away as well. So you want to get rid of the clutter, but I don't have time always to get on Facebook Marketplace, especially for something that's $5. I have some windows in the garage that I can sell for $50 to $100. It's a little different, but think about your time and you are trading time for something. And if you need to work, you might need to focus more on working than these other things. Or get your kids. We actually taught our kids how to list on eBay back in the day. Get your kids to list that stuff. I have a friend whose granddaughters are like 10 to 12 and they sell homemade bread on Facebook Marketplace. So involve your kids if you are trying to declutter. When we moved out of our house, we had lived here for about 15, maybe almost 20 years. And we were moving to Idaho for 4 years. We sold on eBay and we spent a lot of time doing that and going to Salvation Army or wherever we went to get rid of things. And we did some major deep cleaning and decluttering because we had to have the whole house empty. But find, embrace that minimalism and then find a routine so that you can transition from work to family, business to home. Something that will help you shut down emotionally from your business and focus on home. I follow a guy named Jay Paluca. He's works with college kids, and he says when he gets home, his phone goes in a box. So he is totally focused on his family in the evening times. And I was like, that's really good. I'm not saying the phone has to go in the box, but what do you need to do to be focused on your family after work? Now, I personally, I try to write my to-do list for the next day at the end of work because I still remember what needs to get done. Sometimes the next morning, it'll take me 10 minutes to remember what I did the night before. That's a waste of 10 minutes. So I will make my to-do list 1, 2, and 3 for the next day. And my plan is to do that and then to clean the office for 15 minutes. That may be filing, that may be boxing things up, throwing things out, giving things away, but 15 minutes a day. Some people you may want to light a candle. I read another one, a routine. Light a candle, meditate for 5 minutes, clean your desk for 15 minutes, turn off your computer or close your office door and walk away. Okie dokie, we're almost there. Step 6, finesse your finances. Okay, now we're moving into money talk. So I think it's critical that we stay out of debt. Personally, we have always believed in short tent pegs. When you have deep tent pegs, you have lots of debt and you have to do a lot of work to get out of debt. So some things that you could do to finesse this, and I think it's important. Some people are single, some people aren't, but if you are married, you need to have some good communication over money. Not the easiest thing to do. But one thing I'm going to say before I dive into the list, you need separate budgets and separate credit cards and separate bank accounts between home and business. Don't try to operate your business out of your personal bank account or with your personal credit cards. Like I have three business credit cards. They're for different things. And then I have one personal one. Um, and then I have my United one that just gives me a free suitcase. But get them separate. Do not mix them. You're just going to be a headache. And do bookkeeping. So use some sort of budgeting software, accounting software, so you can see where your money is going each month. Personally, I've used QuickBooks for decades and I love it. Now, my son used something called Wave. I was trying to find the app and I don't think he replied to me, but as soon as I find that app, I will put the link to it. It is a free bookkeeping software or app that you can use. You can even accept money if you want to through it. So that would be something, but you want to see what's going on with your money, especially in your business, but also in your personal finances. Automate as much as possible. So if you can automate, like my utility bill goes straight to my credit card along with um, my gas bill, automate what you can and it will save you time. Oh, there you go. Amanda says she uses Zoho bookkeeping. Wave apps, that looks good. I will have to put that in the member area with this as well. But there's lots of things, but if I have had people that I've coached that do not know, they don't keep track or they don't reconcile their bank statements. They don't reconcile their credit cards. It's a pain. I spend Thursdays. That's where I've said it, I guess, back from my old Thursdays. But I try to work on bookkeeping on Thursdays and reconcile my bank account, reconcile my credit card statements as well. Set aside, it needs to be in there somewhere. One of the other mastermind members, Annette, she does it once a month. I try to do it every week. And but you do whatever works. You need to do something. I also think you need to set a savings goal of some sort. You need to have some sort of emergency savings. Something catastrophic happens or income just goes down. So look and see what kind of savings you have at this time. It said that you should have 3 to 6 months um, salary, salary or income in savings at any time so that you could make it through a catastrophe of some sort. So open a retirement account or an investment account, or we've invested in real estate, but do something with your money. I think savings and retirement, retirement comes around quickly. I'm the retired age, but it's never too early. And the sooner you start something like that, the longer you have to accumulate as well. I'm not an investment banker person, but I'm just giving you these ideas. And then implement financial Fridays with your spouse as well. Um, If you're not, I also think that you need to set up alerts on your on your phone for credit cards. I know my kids all have that. And because whenever they want to buy a gift for their spouse, Mom, can we use your Amazon account or can we use your credit card or whatever? I'll pay you back because they don't want their spouse to see what they were buying. They're not buying anything outrageous, but they want to surprise them. So, but they do, they're the ones that got me started on setting up alerts. And it might be that once a month you just sit down and talk about it. It may not be every week, but you talk about what's going on with your finances. And I'm going to say it again. Get out of debt as quickly as possible. We've been blessed to be able to live a debt-free life, except for a couple years we got a loan for our kitchen and when we remodeled, but God has really blessed us. And we Steve's dad passed away when I was pregnant with Ashley, and we ended up using our inheritance to pay for our house. And that has been one of the biggest blessings there is, to not have to deal with mortgages. So and one little quick tip is if you have a mortgage, make one payment a year and you will be surprised how quickly you won't have to take the whole years of whatever you signed up for. So one extra payment straight to, I can't think of the name, principal, not interest. I should know, I'm a accounting major. Okay, so there's some ideas on finances. Now let's talk about implementing it. Let's get this ideal schedule. I really think there comes a point that if you could daydream and have any kind of day, what kind of day would it be? What kind of day would make you happy and joyful? And really dream. If you have some ideas, put them in the chat as well. Because, there's nothing wrong with daydreaming and dreaming big and then coming down to reality and sort of putting it into practice. There's a whole section in your workbook on coming up with your ideal schedule, just like every other topic, the home, the meals, the routines, the business day, the organization, the distractors, all of that. It's all in that workbook. But um, let's do this from maybe reality. And let's talk about one thing you might consider for a while is track your time every day for a week. I use Toggle, and I did do this personal and business. I still do business every week, but it helps me see how I'm spending my time. And it helps me, one, see how long I'm working each day. It helps me when I was doing it with personal, help me see, how long my morning routine was, my evening routine, were there things I could do. But for 1 week, track everything you do. I mean, from waking up to going to bed, the times. You can write it down. You could use Toggle. It's just an app, super simple app. And you just, every time you do a new task, you just type it in there and it calculates how much time for the whole week you spent on those tasks. Review your list at the end of the week. And then which of these tasks must be done without fail each week? And then what tasks did you not get to that you really would like to if you had your ideal week? So that's a lot, but review it and then think about what has to get done by the end of the week, what did not get done, and that you maybe really want to get done. That would be in your dream week, your dream day as well. Think about why some tasks didn't get done. Are you bored? Did you find yourself procrastinating? There is an important reason why. And you need to sometimes get to the root of what that reason is. And you might consider outsourcing to a VA or some other specialist if you're not getting to them and they are things that truly need to get done. And I will just give you, if you want an inexpensive VA, I would look at Upwork. It will take some research, some trial and error, but that would be a good place to get a VA as well. Next, we want to develop an ideal weekly schedule. I would use your Google Calendar. If you want to see, oh, Annette Breedlove, she got everything color coded and all sorts of stuff, but she really uses that Google Calendar to the utmost, or whatever timing, whatever calendar app works for you, but block out everything. When are you going to meal plan and prep? When are you going to clean, grocery shop? When are you going to take care of yourself? What things need to be done around the house? What business tasks need to be done? And come up with it and use it for a few weeks, maybe a month, and then revisit it. and see. Maybe you get the hang of meal planning because that isn't your jam right now. And you may not need as much time in a month, especially if you come up with those 30 meals. You could just keep rotating those, but you want to tweak it along the way. All right. Do your best to follow the schedule, but give yourself grace, tweak it. You may have to pivot as well. If you feel overwhelmed with any of this, I would prioritize which routines are most important to you right now. What will improve your life? What will get rid of stress? Get rid of all of these things. You need to decide. I would say setting business hours, finding the things that are distractions, getting a list, and how are we going to solve that? Focus on doing this as long as you can so that you create a habit. A habit usually takes about 30 days. So you want to sort of test it out for a month as well. So that's why I'm giving you these helps. This workbook, it's a 4-week calendar. If 4 weeks is too fast, do it over 8 weeks. But do something so that I would say once a week, you need to think about what am I going to implement into my routine? Maybe if meal planning is your weakness, say I'm going to work on meal planning and only buying what I need and doing that for a whole month and then add something else. So what I would say is, oh, had that twice. What is one thing you will start doing this week to be more organized? And if you want to put something in the chat, you can. I've already told y'all the one thing I'm going to start doing. 15-minute clean the office. Y'all saw, I should probably embarrass myself and take a picture of my office. Y'all would be like horrified. It is horrible. And I've pulled files out of the cabinet into boxes and organized them. Now they got to go back in the cabinet, but I got to redo everything. And I still have physical products that we used to ship, and I don't do that anymore because I do all digital. Anyway, what questions do y'all have? Let me know. What's one thing maybe that you are going to start doing to help you be more organized? And then I'm open to any questions if y'all have any questions before we close out. Oh, there we go. 3 minutes till. Any questions, thoughts? It's a lot of information. I seriously don't want to overwhelm you, but it is stuff to think about. If you had to pick one out of those 7 steps, which of those 7 steps would you focus on? Anyone? Mine's number 2. So, any questions? Oh my goodness. There we go. Nope. Thank y'all. Oh, Erin said number 4, routines, regular routines. Um, that morning, evening exercise and stuff. I will say, being an empty nester, that maybe is a little easier for me because I remember I still do it when I'm taking care of those grandkids. It's like I better get up at 5 or 5:30. But I mean, that 3-year-old, he gets up at 6:30, 6 sometimes, and I'm just like, is your dog light green? No, then go upstairs and play in your room till your dog light turns green because Gigi's going to read her Bible. So anyway, it is harder with kids, but it is definitely possible. And I just have to realize I don't get near as much done when I am taking care of my grandkids. We had a new grandbaby about a month ago. Yeah, a month ago tomorrow. Yeah. And so I was up there for a week taking care of while they were at the hospital. So anything else? Any other questions? Thank you for showing up. I appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. We'll get the recording into your member area, and that way you can listen to it. And if you have any issues with downloads, just let me know, and we will work through that. Thanks so much. Oh, I'm glad it was great. Y'all have a great day, and we will talk to you later.